Shalom, 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 shalom. I'm catching you at dinner time for some people. Hopefully you'll be able to join me. If not, I pray that you'll be able to see this video at another time. It will be available if as some folks that are YouTube creators say, if it doesn't get taken down. Although I've not had any issues in that area. I pray that I don't. You guys pray for Sister Mary here. Pray for me. Shalom, shalom, everyone. Come on in. I'm not going to keep you, and I truly mean that this time around. I'm not going to talk your heads off. Uncle Sam wants you. What do you think that means? What do you guys think that means? You know, we look, surprise, surprise, I'm back on. I was on earlier today, and I did 2 videos. I did one for this channel, and I did one also for the Easy Stuff Hits the Fan prep channel. So I did 2 videos already today, and here I am again. What's going on? I just want to, I was watching a video. Let me show you. Let me give credit where credit is due. Did I even grab it? Yes, Star Trends. There is a channel called Star Trends that's out there, and she posted a video that is talking about what's going on over in the UK. Well, family, it's coming to a country near you, meaning your own. So if you are an American, it's coming here, family. It is coming here. And so what was her video about? Her video is about recruiting and people being drafted. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I have a video out there that I think I got a couple of them that actually speak about the draft, whether or not we're going to see something like that here in this country. Well, I'm going to just briefly go over a few things. And so I got the copyright disclaimer up. I'm going to read that because I do want to share a little bit of Star Trends video. And it looks like Star Trend herself borrowed the video from someone else, because the person that is speaking in the background, if you will, is a male. It's a male voice, so it's not a female voice. So I'm assuming that she did the same thing that I'm doing. So let me read the copyright, and then I'm going to share the video with you guys. All right. Okay, copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, so now that we got that taken care of, let me take you over to this tab here. And again, let me give her a thumbs up because I'm using her video. But let me know if everything is okay. You guys can see and you can hear. All right. But this is, again, the young folks over in the UK discussing the draft, getting drafted. And I just want you to hear some of this particular guy. I'm not going to share all of them, but this particular guy has some interesting things to say. And we have this same generation here. Okay. And you're going to draft them. Make it worth their while. Is it worth their while? You know what I'm trying to say? So here goes. Listen up.
World War III is confirmed. You know how there was World War I, World War II? They gave them numbers because they knew they were going to make it into a trilogy. Why am I seeing this on the news today? Britain must train citizen army to prepare for potential land war. Ordinary citizens should be trained and equipped to fight in the military in the event of a war with Russia. I don't know who's involved. I just know I'm not. I got a knee injury. Apparently right now the British army is too small. They've got only like 75,000 people. So now they're trying to recruit more people like it's one pyramid scheme. But these are forgetting the young people of today are not the same as the people that were getting drafted back in World War I, World War II. This is the TikTok and the Fortnite generation. No one takes anything seriously. You're going to be there. You're going to be trying to teach someone how to shoot a gun, and they're going to ask you to build battle them. You've got someone making the war day in the life down there. There's a little group down there making a British people trying Russian candy for the first time YouTube video. This country wants us to fight for it. It wants us to get involved in a war that no one asked for. Because why? Because Rishi Sunak said so. Brother, no one voted for you. A great leader leads by example. Rishi Sunak, if you're watching this, grab a sniper and go and no-scope Putin. I'm not involved. I'm busy on that day. I have chicken in my freezer that I need to defrost. Rishi Sunak, you and your unelected self need to get a job. Not in politics. I heard the British Army's hiring. They're understaffed at the moment. Go and work there. And I can't lie, what happens if I refuse? Like, how does that work? Like, how are they going to force me to start doing army training? Or they're going to rock up to my door, the flipping army bailiffs, and tell me to just drop and do 8 burpees? Apparently, if you refuse, you get sent to prison. Well, in that case, I identify as an inmate. I said 3 meals a day, rent covered, water, electricity, all bills included. Officer, I'm here. Take me. During a time of war, that sounds like a luxury, all-inclusive resort. I'd rather be in there than risk my life for some weirdo billionaires in suits. If any of us get contacted to join the army, how about we all just double it and pass it on to anyone that voted no for a ceasefire in Gaza? This is what was so insistent on innocent people being... It's only right they get the front line. They've demonstrated their passion for death. It would be unfair for them to not have a front seat view. In fact, here's my ticket and here's a +1. Not just that, but UK government, like, what have you actually done for people in the UK? For you to now demand that we put our lives on the line in pursuit of your political agendas. You're demanding that people back beef that you've created. Meanwhile, what have you actually done for everyone here? Right now, you're running low on troops, but at least it's good to know that you're not running low on audacity, because there's no way you're going to get thousands and thousands of people for a man named Rishi.
It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. British Army chief wants a conscription to fight Russia. To fight Russia.
Young man,
To fight Russia. Man them. To fight Russia. Do you know what this means, blood? Who is this British Army chief? Who is he? Is it Rishi Sunak's cousin? Because that's some Rishi Sunak there. Yeah? Going to war against Russia. Against Russia. Nah. True say. My passport's gonna expire in February. I've still got time to dip, you lot. Real talk. I'm considering going. And if we do end up going in Russia and I stay, I'm not fighting, bro. Take the year 7s. Big man thing. Put the year 7s front line. We might have a chance to win, I can't lie. But Putin, this is a message for you to Putin. Please. No smoky, bro. Please, blad. No smoky. I don't want to smoke with Putin. Putin, I'm not involved. I live here, not by choice, but by force. Right? I'm sorry. I don't want to be bombed.
The British.
Okay. You know, a little bit of dry humor involved here. A little bit of dry humor, but there's a whole lot of seriousness about behind what these young people are saying. They don't want to, first of all, go to war that they didn't agree to, okay? And they don't want to go and fight for, as they say, these people who are putting them up or volunteering them to go to war, to fight. They're not looking at it as, I'm going to fight for freedom of my country. Notice that the narrative is a lot different than it was many, many years ago, you know, where you had the, how do I put this? Where you had those that were, I can't think of the name for these guys who are gun-ho for, help me out, family, gun-ho for fighting for the country. Now, there is a whole bunch of, don't get me wrong, there are a whole bunch of these folks that are older, much older, that are willing to go out and say, you know, I'm going to get my pew-pews out. There you go. Thank you, McMahon. The name just escaped me for a minute there. I'm going to go and get my pew-pews, and I'm going to protect and serve this country. Well, a lot of those folks that talk like that are older folks, right? A lot of the older folks talk like that. And right now, what you're seeing some of those same patriots are going down to the southern border to protect their interest in this country. You're seeing folks that are talking about they're going down to stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder to those that are trying to defend, if you will, our border, right? And that's what's going on right now. But I believe that it's going to be a different tune when it comes to the draft. It will be a different tune, a different viewpoint of those same patriots. I don't believe they're going to have um, the same fight in them per se. When it comes time for us to go up against countries like China and Russia, that's coming. That's coming. So this civil war is something that I believe that is going to happen. And wouldn't that be the perfect time? Let me stop sharing this. Wouldn't that be the perfect time for the outside enemy to come at us? Wouldn't that be the perfect timing? Yes, they do. There's a lot of big talk involved. Um, Again, there are those that are putting their money where their mouth is, and they're actually going down. What they're planning on doing or how they're planning on managing that, I'm not quite sure. But I'll tell you something about that. There is a difference. Monica, honey, um, no, not Monica, Old McMoney. I'm sorry. Old McMoney, you are a vet. So correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong. But there is a world of difference between coming up against a group of people that are unarmed. And I'm speaking of those, for the most part, at the border. There's a big difference between coming up against those who are unarmed as opposed to being on a battlefield, combat, face to face with those who are armed to the teeth, just like you are. Um, I believe that the braveness will leave quite a few folks in those circumstances that call themselves patriots. Okay, it's a different it's a different mule, if you will. Huge difference. Thank you, Old McMoney. Huge difference. So it's one thing to say, hey, we're going down to the border to defend our border against those, like I said, that aren't armed for the most part. It's a big difference there, okay, than to have to come face to face with someone who's got a weapon, a pew pew, just like you do. Okay, um, so I wanted to quickly come to you and say, you know what, get ready, family, get ready. They're not talking about a draft as of yet, but what goes on overseas normally trickles over to us as well, right? So 2024 here. And I'm looking at two news reports, and both of them. One is, DC News Now, and the other one is Yahoo News. Okay. Both of them report that the United States is to begin 2024 with the smallest military in over 80 years. The UK has figured out already. They're a few steps ahead of us. They figured out already that their military force is too small, right? Too small for them to win anything. So they have started talking to their young people about drafting them, and the young people are talking back. They're talking back and they're saying, "Don't count me in." The one guy, like I said, there's a little bit of funny in it, humor, where he's saying, you know what, I identify. And I heard that and I was like, the whole world identifies as something nowadays, right? That's the new way of living. I identify as a cat. I identify as this, that, and the other. Well, he said he identified as a prisoner. Put the shackles on him, he gets 3 square meals a day. Okay, so again, there's a little bit of humor in there, but there's a whole lot of seriousness, right? A whole lot of seriousness in there. Where's the incentive? Because, see, these young people have gotten smart. It used to be where people were saying it's for our freedom, right? It's for our rights. Well, these young people are realizing that we're not free, and pretty much we don't have any rights. We have monitors and cameras all over the place, right? And Big Brother is in all of our businesses. They're in our bedrooms. They're in all of our businesses. Okay, and if you're thinking that you're off the radar, all of you guys that are, that would look at me and say, "Oh, Mary C, you kind of put your business out there. You're telling folks that you're prepping it, and you're telling folks that you're doing this, that, and the other." Well, you know what? I'm doing that for you guys. A lot of that is for you guys because I've been told to come and warn you. I've been told to, come in and give you the message that you need to be prepping, right? But if you think that you're out there and you're hidden, think again. You're not. You're just as vulnerable, if you will, as I am. We're not vulnerable to per se because we have the Heavenly Father. We have His shield. He's our shield and our buckler. He is our protection. Okay, I'm counting on Him. But in the event that something does happen, it won't happen without His say so. So I know this and I live by that, and I'm okay with that. Okay, no one can do anything to me without the Father already knowing about it. Same thing with you. So if you're thinking you're off the radar, think again. They know what you're doing. They know what you're buying. They know who you're talking to. They know what you're watching. Okay? So these young people are saying, what's it worth to me? What can you offer me? And they're looking at it and they're saying, reality is you can't offer me anything. I would be putting my life on the line. And that's pretty much what they're saying. Now, those are the youth of the UK. What about our youth? What would our youth have to say? You think that they're going to go and stand in line so that they can sign up? This country's in trouble. For those who don't know it yet, let me tell you, this country's in trouble. This country is getting ready to reap. It's already started, though. It's already started to reap what it has sowed. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. Uncle Sam wants you. Okay. They say that they're not going to be doing a draft, but they're going to have to do something. Again, we got these news reportings that say 2024, the United States is to begin this year with the smallest military in over 80 years. Why is it so small? They're having a hard time recruiting folks. DC News says, according to the United States Department of Defense, says the Army, the Navy, Air Force, they missed their recruiting goals in 2023 by a combined 41,000 personnel. And then they go on and say, we didn't get into this problem overnight, and it's not going to be solved overnight. But here's the thing. Here's that it's either confidence or arrogance. I don't know. It could be both. Okay. Overconfidence is what I mean. Overconfidence, not confidence, overconfidence, or just plain arrogance. But they go on to say, but we are confident that we will continue to see those numbers increase. Okay. They're going to work very hard to see the military grow. How are they going to do it? Okay. Let me see. Now this is Yahoo News. The 2024 National Defense Authorization Act, passed by both houses of Congress, outlines the forecast strength of the United States military in fiscal year 2024. Under in strength levels outlined in the bill, the number of active duty troops will shrink to 1,284,500, down nearly 64,000 troops in the last 3 years. America's military will be the smallest it has been since before the start of World War II, shining a spotlight on military recruiting crisis. And they're also saying that they're not going to it's if you've heard it already, they're saying that it is not true, that they are looking to recruit women. That's what they're saying right now. As of last year, I want to say that was what was reported. Does it or does it not look like we are going to war? WAR. And if that's the case, are we going to be able to do it with what numbers we have? Or will they have to do something? Selective services is the thing that they have set up, where all of the I believe, young men age 18 and over are involved in that, the selective services. As of yet, they haven't included the women. But when the numbers don't stack up, what do you think they're going to do? Okay? I don't know all of the Mr. C, I don't know all of the rules that apply for it. Mr. C says high school diploma no longer required to enter the military. Just score over 50 on the ASVAB. Okay, you remember not too long ago they were dismissing folks because they didn't do this. Take that. You know what? Mm-hmm. That was something that was they lost quite a few people because of that. I bet that's not going to be a requirement anymore either. Well, that's the other thing. Thank you. Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you, sweetheart. So you're saying, could it be that they want a military from another place to take over here? Okay. What other people could we possibly be looking at? Because we kind of have already understood that the young people aren't going to just step up to the plate and volunteer. Who else is here who could possibly do that? And is it why that we've got no walls, that the border is open? That's going to backfire. That's what they're looking for. That's going to backfire because many of them are not coming in to join our military. A lot of them are coming in to fight against us. That's going to backfire if that's what they're thinking. The other thing that I heard about that is this, and I don't put anything past these politicians and those that are in power. I don't put anything past them at all. But the other thing, which this makes sense to me as well, those that are coming across, how many of you know that the population in this country, a Negro or a Black person is considered a Black person for the most part in this country when it comes to like the census and such. When it comes to filling out legal documents, we're considered Black. You got the little, the little checkbox to check, you're considered a Black person or African American, whatever, right? But how many of you know that a person that comes in from Mexico is not considered necessarily a Mexican? They can put on the status of being Caucasian or white on those forms, right? Did you guys know that? I want to know, did you guys know that? So, one of the things that is being said is because the numbers, it's all about the numbers, it's all about greed, it's all about who is in power, who wants to stay in power, and it's the numbers. It's all about numbers. So the Caucasian population is shrinking, and that's just, it's not a racial thing. It's just, it's fact. The Caucasian population is shrinking. So what they have done is they have included other ethnic groups that they have deemed okay to be counted as them to improve their numbers. Tell me the devil ain't always deviling. That's a deceit. Always trying to find a way. That's deceit because it's a lie. So they're blending in ethnicities with theirs so that their numbers will remain high. Okay, but that's what's going on. So Monica, shalom, shalom, beautiful, says, yes, I work at a school, and that is true. Yes, I know someone who went to do something that was, legal, fill out legal form, and fill themselves out as their ethnicity as Mexican. Mom and dad born and raised in Mexico. They were born here in this country, and they went to fill out the paperwork, legal paperwork, and they put on there that they were Mexican. And the clerk, the county clerk, I watched this. The county clerk scratched it off and put Caucasian, and he questioned it. And she said, "Well, in this country, this is what we put on here." Sure enough. Sure enough. So he was counted as, and we went out of there, and he was a little miffed about it. Okay, he was a little miffed because what is it? It's a lie. It's a lie, deception. We're dealing with a whole bunch of Decepticons, family. A whole bunch of folks that are just plain out and out liars, liars and cheats, liars and cheats. This is the world that we live in today. Okay. Yes. Okay. So that's the other thing. So with the numbers that are coming in, perhaps just as it's being said, they are going to use that, especially with the election coming up. How they're going to manage that, I don't know and don't even care. Because when it's all said and done, the folks that are put into office, family, it's the enemy that uses these people as puppets. It's the enemy that uses them. Some of them are going to be put in place by the enemy, and some of these folks, whether you vote or not, some of these folks are going to be put in place by our Heavenly Father, not because they're good people and decent people, but He's going to use them. Okay, He has a plan that He has in place, and His will be done, regardless of what the devil is doing. But none of those people are there to be a savior to any of us. None of them. So if you're thinking that they're going to get in there and pass these laws because for your benefit of this and your benefit of that, when does that happen? When does that happen? You're still paying taxes, if I'm not mistaken. And where are your tax dollars going? Right now, your tax dollars are going to kill people. Oh, I shouldn't have said it that way, but to unalive people. And is it any wonder that the young people are saying, I didn't sign up for this? They have more guts than a lot of the older folks. A lot of the older folks are watching things happen in quiet, in silence. These younger people saying, I didn't sign up for this. This is not my battle. No, like that one young man said, he's putting his hands up and saying, I'm sorry to Putin. I'm sorry. Don't pew 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 me. I'm not part of this craziness. Okay. So Uncle Sam wants you. It's going to happen. Sooner than later, it's going to happen. We're going to, sit back and watch what happens at the border, because that's the beginning, I believe, of the inside actual skirmishes. Um, we're seeing our government's plans being enforced or laid out for us. Um, we are taking in so many people, we can't house them all. It's not making any sense. I mean, if you stop and look at it logically, it doesn't make any sense at all. We're embracing them, and at the same time, we're kicking our own citizens in the face and saying, we're not going to help you, but we'll help them. Okay, so people are talking about this. People are not happy. People are not happy at this point in time. It's not making sense. They're not taking care of home before they take care of others. They're operating in a way that just is not logical. It's just not logical. We're at a point where I would say 20 years from now, people will look at this time and say the same things that we have said, looking at our past 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago. We look at our past, we look at videos, old videos where you have the race issues. You look at some of those old videos, some of them are black and white, some of them are in color. It's not been that long ago. And you hear of, some of these old videos where a family of color tried to move into a neighborhood and they got attacked, if you will. Their houses got attacked, and they had to uproot and move from those areas. They could afford the areas, but the folks that were in those areas didn't want people of color in those areas. We sit here today, look at that and say, wow, look how racist they were. Wow, how could that happen? 50 years ago, 60 years ago, there were folks that would go into a town and not come back out of that town because they were strange fruit. They were made to be strange fruit. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, they were made to be strange fruit. Today, we look at that and say, how could that have happened? How could so many people have been in agreement with that and let that happen? Well, we're gonna be part of that history, and they're going to be looking at the things that we, in our time, are part of. By consent or not by consent, we're still part of it. And we are going to look at that at this time and say, how in the world, the people of in the future are going to look back and say, how in the world did the masses agree to the genocide that right now is currently taking place, that has pretty much gone kind of quiet? And to watch the leader of that area so nonchalant, as though he is eating Sunday dinner, about what he's doing, and our leader supporting it. And to me, it's no different than the crowd on Sunday morning, if you will, doing a picnic after they have just put strange fruit on a tree. No different. And going and having a Sunday picnic like it's nothing. Thousands and thousands of lives snatched, taken. because of somebody's ego. It hasn't stopped, family. I hope you haven't stopped praying for these folks. And not just there, also in the Congo. And these folks that are so greedy for the minerals for our cell phones and stuff like that. That stuff is still going on. I know that there are folks that are resolving they're not buying a new phone. They're resolving that but there's so much that's going on. There's so much that's going on. The young people are saying, I didn't sign up for this. I'm not willing to participate. So are they going to go for the older ones because the younger ones won't do it? Will they be able to take and imprison, put that many young folks? Because I believe it's going to be a lot of them in jail because they refuse to go and fight. So I don't know. Again, I just wanted to quickly come out and say to you guys, you know what? We're headed to war. We are. And we don't have the numbers that, you know, what is it they say when people are getting ready to fight? You have the big mouth, and I know there's a slang for it, but I can't really think of it right now. You have the big mouth, but you don't have the check or the to cover what your mouth is putting out there. You guys know what I'm trying to say. You can't afford what your mouth is actually putting out there. All right. So they're talking big talks right now. And I hear so many, oh my goodness, so many overconfident pot belly. I'm just gonna call it what it is. So many confident pot bellied hicks. I hope I'm not offending anybody, talking about what they're planning on doing and how they're going to go about taking care of those folks who are considered their enemies. I hear so many of them folks out there talking stuff, talking mess. Never been on a battlefield in their lives. And when they come face to face with what's coming down the pipeline, they're going to go potty on themselves. A lot of hot air. There you Ah, yeah, thank you, family. Pamela starts out, your mouth wrote a check, your behind can't cash. Right, that's it. How many videos have you seen toting a gun, talking big stuff? Chosen One indeed says, don't let your mouth write checks that you know what can't cash. And oh, McMoney, the mouth is writing a check that the behind can't cash. That's right, Terry Ann. Y'all know what I'm trying to say when I say this stuff. They're just full of hot air. And these are the ones that are quick. A lot of these are the ones that would be quick to tell somebody who has brown skin that when they complain about something that's unfair, unjust, these are the ones that would be quick to tell somebody who looks like me to go back to your country. Okay, to tell us that we are not citizens here. I am in my 60s. I'm in my 60s. All right. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm in my 60s. I don't know how old you guys are, but in my 60s, I have been made in all of the years, and I was born and raised in this country. In all of and you guys tell me in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you can relate to this and you look like me. You got color in you got melanin, okay? How many of you have been made to feel as though you don't belong here by the other folks who would be considered fellow citizens with you? How many of you have felt that nastiness from fellow citizens of other colors? I can tell you, I have felt it not one time, several times over by those who would be fellow citizens, my brothers and sisters of the United States. Why do they do that to us? Why do they treat us this way? Because they can, and because they've had right behind them. The leadership of this country has always covered them. The way this society has been run, it's always been a protective for them so that they can do that. You know, when you think about some of the evils that, and the Heavenly Father's got this, he doesn't forget anything. But when you think about some of the evils that take place here in this country, when it comes to children being molested, harmed, raped, all of that stuff, when they do actually catch a perpetrator, right? When they do, the sentence for these guys is so crazy and low and unjust. It's not real. It's just not real what they do. And yes, I do get a little passionate about that because I think the Heavenly Father's he's going to get them. He's going to get them for that. But in this country, you ever notice that the sentence for these guys that do these things doesn't fit the crime? It just doesn't fit the crime. Well, that's the same way when it comes to the justice for people who look like me. So we've been made to know that they don't consider you a citizen of this country. They don't. We're just kind of here for the ride, and they have to put up with us, right? But speaking of the Uncle Sam wants you, when the rubber meets the road and they are outnumbered, what will happen? They will then turn to those that they had negated, those that they had mistreated, those that they said were not even citizens of this country, treated them as though they were not citizens of this country, like I have been treated. And they're going to want them to have their backs. What do you think the response will be? Do you think that the masses of folks who have been mistreated like that will turn around and say, hey, brother, hey, sister, I got your back. I got you covered. We're in this together. Do you think that that's going to happen? They're going to be in shock. Why? I don't know. But they're going to be in shock. Well, we're all in this together. No, we're not. You've made that plain to us over several years. We have been divided. And in most of our cases, it was not by choice. We've been divided. And to not recognize that is silly. We've been divided. We've been divided by ethnicity. We've been divided by religion. We have allowed the enemy. Just it is what it is. We've allowed the enemy to come in and divide us. This stuff that's going on down at the southern border right now, with those folks going down there, I'm going to sit back and watch and see what happens. I'm going to sit back, watch, and see what happens with that. Okay. And I want you to pay attention. Pay attention to the ones that are going down there, what they look like. The majority. I want you to pay attention to what they look like. And then I want you to, in your mind, question why it is a certain group that feels the need to do this, and these other groups do not. And then I want you to think about Uncle Sam wanting you, and think about those who will step up to the plate, what they're going to look like to enlist. Yes, I saw that. I didn't get the number. Mr. C says 25 states have signed a letter supporting Texas. I saw that. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to the conflicts. Y'all better be getting yourselves together. I told you this was going to happen. We're getting there. It's heating up. Any day we could have a conflict begin. What do you guys think the outcome will be once that starts? What do you think the outcome will be? I personally, and it's just my opinion, you don't have to agree with me on this, but I personally believe that once we're in the midst of the conflict, that's when the word will be given from outside forces. Those that are here, that are our enemy, will be given the command, go ahead, go after. Because at that point, we'll be fighting each other. We'll be fighting. I'm for what's going on in Texas. I'm against what's going on in Texas. The divide, it's getting bigger. Already people are discussing whether they're for or against it. They're already discussing it. And that's just putting a bigger wedge between us all. And again, I think that would be the perfect timing for the enemy to do what they're going to do. Okay. And I think that's how we go from a civil war to World War III. Okay. So that's where we are. I think they're saying that there won't be a draft. They say a lot of things. Just keep that in mind. They say that they won't be drafting the women. They say a lot of things. Just keep that in mind. If the numbers are weak and we're out there, how did we say it again? We're out there. Let's see if I can find it. We're out there writing a check that our behinds can't cash, right? That's what we're doing. We're talking a big talk, and again, I've seen so many puffed up patriots talking online, talking about what we're going to do and what is impossible for to happen here. Many of them still believe arrogantly that this country can't be truly invaded in the sense of paratroopers coming down. They will be. being able to catch planes coming over, helicopters, whatever they're going to come over with, that it's impossible for them to come into this our airspace without us being able to catch it on radar. And I say never, and in all of that, I believe is possible. Okay. But there are folks that stand on it, that we've got the greatest military. Well, in what numbers? They're telling you themselves that the numbers are weak. Okay. They're telling you themselves, but they keep saying that we've got the greatest military ever, what have you. We've got the best this and the best that. We've got all of the military equipment. But if you don't have somebody to pew pew, what do you have? What do you have? You got good equipment. That's what you got. That's right, Monica. They thought 9/11 was impossible. Now, there's a whole lot of controversy in regard to that, inside, outside, you name it. The conflict that's headed our way is, I believe, both inside and outside. I truly believe that they're setting us up. They're setting us up. Those that are inside, that have leadership roles, are setting us up for this conflict. The civil one and the World War III. I believe that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's really interesting to me that so many folks are now calling out what I put out there a while back about this being an invasion. It's interesting to see so many folks calling it just that. It's an invasion and that we are at war. I hadn't heard that way back when I was saying it, hadn't heard anybody say that. They were talking about folks coming over and what have you, but they weren't calling it an invasion, and they weren't saying we're at war. Now, that's exactly what you hear people saying. That's exactly what they are saying. See, the Heavenly Father will give you warnings beforehand. He'll let you know what's going on. He'll give you warnings. And that's what he's been doing for us. So I'm going to end with this. You know what? Keep your head on a swivel, because you never know at what time things will spark and pop off, if you will. Even some of the leaders are talking about a Black Swan event. They know. Okay. They know something's up. They know. All right. And some of them are sly warning by telling you to prep, get your flashlights, something crazy like that. Get flashlights, get things that crazy stuff. Family, I'm telling you, get the real stuff. You want to survive, get stuff that you know you need to survive. Don't wait for these folks to tell you slyly that you need to get ready. You need to get ready. You need to get ready. How many warnings do you need at this point? How many more do you need, is what I'm saying. You need to get ready. If they say they're not going to do a draft, okay, you believe them. I don't have to. You go ahead. You believe them. It's not adding up. You got to use a little bit of logic. If the numbers are very weak at this point in time, and we do have a conflict which is coming, they got to do something about those numbers. What do you think they're going to do? Use good common sense, okay? Get your stuff. Don't stop prepping, stockpiling stuff. Get your toilet paper, get your water, get your food. Do all those things. And keep your head on a swivel, because at any time, anything can pop off. Watch and pray. Repent, watch, and pray. Get under the shadow of the Almighty. I love you. I just want to quickly come to you and just bring that to you. So I love you, but know this, our Heavenly Father, He loves you so much more. Shalom, family.